Hello everyone. This is Ankit.Sharma and you are watching Bharat EV Talks, a podcast series by All India EV. This is the ninth episode, and in this episode, we are very happy to say that we have with us Delta Electronics, Manjula Girish from Delta Electronics. Delta is one of the, you can say, pioneers in EV charging stations, not just in India, but on global market as well. So we'll try to understand how this EV market and EV charging market is, growing in India around the globe from both market point of view, from tech point of view. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Sure, Ankit. Thank you. I'm very happy to share a bit of our experience as Delta Electronics as an organization, what we're doing in EV industry. Yeah.
So, ma'am, before understanding, what you guys are doing at Delta, you have a very long experience in, as career-wise. So, can you take us through your journey? I mean, before getting into Delta and in the EV market, can you share your journey from, from past?
Sure, sure. The 2024 would be 2 decades plus experience. As on, if I look back, it's always been business to business interactions. It never been the B2C domain as such. So
Mm,
I had a chance to work with a Indian manufacturer, a global distributor, and a OEM, global OEM. So this diversified hands-on really enabled me to learn many things. When I
mm,
started the career, I had an opportunity to work in operations, and then subsequent level I could get into a sales activity, and then again hand in hand business development and marketing aspects. As I grew further, I had the opportunity to explore key account activity, profit and loss statement. So it is a kind of a journey which really enabled me to be in the business head shoes. So from the start to end, all the value proposition I had the hands on. That too in a diversified Indian atmosphere. I mean, India is a challenging country. Having that,
mm.
having a experience of OEM, having the experience of global distributor, and then again coming back to an industry where there is a social mission connected to it,
Yes.
sustainability mission connected to it. So that's how I landed in the shoes of business head for Delta Electronics, handling the energy infrastructure solutions, basically focusing at the EV charging solutions.
Yeah, yes, and you rightly pointed out that Indian market is a very unique market. I mean, challenging is would be the right word, but I would like to say it's a very unique market. I mean, there are n number of variables from business point of view to understand. I mean, if I was speaking to one of my friend and we concluded that okay, even if a company, organization, or any business is able to tap at least 5 to 10% of the market, that would be very huge because there are n number of variables to understand, and same variables cannot be subjected to different zone and different part of the different part of India. So as a business head of EV charging segment of Delta, I mean, EV charging is one of the fastest growing market in the last couple of years. A lot of companies are setting EV charging station, government is pushing a lot. I mean, a lot of things are happening. So can you take us through your day to day journey as a head of EV charging segment in Delta Electronics, and if you can share, like, what are the most common problems you get to hear from the companies you work with? I mean, you are a charger manufacturer, and then you provide it to the charge point operators who install it, and or maybe you are also installing it as well. So what are the major challenges, what are the most common major challenges they are facing on ground?
Sure, sure, Ankit. I mean, I would take up the first part. What are we in EV charging activities? We are the first entrant who entered an India market with the EV charging solutions. I mean, if you
Of
see
course.
most of the government organization, the distribution companies, Delta's installations are there almost 4 to 5 years back. We have done the venture activities. So coming back to how does the day look like? Yes, it's a fragmented business segment. Things are happening. A lot of dynamics which would really contribute day-to-day activities. It also has the environment mission saying sustainability is the backup of this specific activity, and then global emission, net zero, carbon emission activities, and then RE100. You name the initiative towards environment aspects, e-mobility, EV charging solution will back up such specific activities. So when we see this as an ecosystem, my day would not look one and the same every day. I mean, you will have challenges from the product side, or you will have a feedback from the market side, or you will work with the regulatories, or you will have the competitor information watching. The dynamics are quite high. I mean, every day you will have some or the other learning to act upon. The regulatory
Mm.
requirement needs to be closely washed out. What are those dynamics? How is the user experience is getting impacted? How does the
Mm.
product tweaking needs to be done? So it is not one
Mm.
factor which drives the outcome. So in that aspects, day-to-day activities have been quite challenging. I would say roller coaster ride. Time to market and meeting the market expectations, serving the customer after delivering. So these have been
Mm.
the challenges which have been catering to. So it
Mm.
has been a real learning, and at the same time, I say again and again, reiterating a mission attached to it. So that's how
Of
the
course.
EV charging solution comes into picture.
Mm.
So apart from the other question you had, like how are the market dynamics and what are those things coming into picture? So if you see as a EV charging ecosystem, different segments have a different expectation. I mean, the consumer who does the charging at home charging activity would be there. The bus charging, bus facility, that would be a depot kind of experience. And the truck,
Mm.
slowly it is picking up. You will have truck fleet operators coming into picture, and then we
Of
also
course.
see four wheeler vehicles fleet EV specific activity coming up. So it is not
Mm.
such standardized feedback or standardized value proposition. What are the expectations from different diversified segments? So
Of course.
definitely for sure it is not a monotonous, and then you will not have the similar feedback and experience every day to count upon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, EV market. I mean, for the first time in the, I mean, say after a very long time, for the first time in the human history, I mean, market has started where it is a combination of a lot of things.
Hmm.
Be it's EV is not just an automotive market.
Yeah.
It's a market for, it has electrical engineering segment, has electronic engineering segment, then it has financial segment, it has computer science. A lot of market, a lot of skills and technology are being incorporated in the same. That's why I mean, it is every day something new is happening, and as a media house, I mean, I can say that okay, every day something new news comes up, be it a new product launched, be it a new technology coming up, be new financial solution. I mean, and of course I can understand the day for you one day, it's not similar to what it was in yesterday, and it will not be similar to what comes tomorrow. Every day would be a new challenge, a new thing. Um, as you mentioned about the standardization, I mean, we understand that after some point of time, any market, it acquires some standardization to grow, to make a level playing field for some part of the players. I mean, for a very long time, and standardization in EV is being discussed. I mean, I don't know because I have not heard of any such policy,
Hmm.
but it is being discussed. Some companies are working in terms of standardizing the charger connectors. That will help a lot for the battery companies and the EV companies. So when it comes to as a product developer, your company is one of the pioneers in developing the EV charging solutions in India. So when it comes to standardization, what do you think? Uh, will it help the market to grow? Be it charger, be it charger connector, be it battery, or there are certain segment of the market they think like if the standardization is subjected to the market, it will limit the innovation.
Yeah.
So how do you see it?
See, there are two segments which we really need to focus at. Currently, if you see two-wheeler and three-wheeler, there are no as such standardization activity which is happening in terms of connectors
Of
also.
course.
And then
Sure.
that will push interoperability as a challenge. And then
Yes.
he who owns the vehicle will look for the specific charger which can be used for their charging solutions. So that
Sure.
happens with the two-wheeler and then three-wheeler. But when you come back to four-wheeler, where you have different diversified the connectors, it could be
Mhm.
GBYT platform, or it could be CHAdeMO platform, or if it is CCS2 platform. See,
Mhm.
standardization would really help, especially focusing
Mhm.
at the ease of the communication activity. The communication protocol can be standardized, and then
Mhm.
having, I mean, we had the challenge when we had the specific to handset having a specific charger. We used to look for the specific charger. When it becomes standardized connector pin, then automatically
Mhm.
it will be available for all of us. So the
Of
ease of
course.
customer experience would get better in terms of
Mhm.
standardization. One, the two, the reliability and the safety aspects. If
Mhm.
everything is different, different region, different country will have different connector platform or different standardization, then validation would be a challenge. Reliability
Mhm.
and safety aspects ensuring would be a challenge. One, we spoke about the customer experience, and second, we spoke about the reliability and the safety aspects in order to
Mhm.
achieve the standardization. And
Mhm.
in the third, the ease of development activity. Already we know the technology, we know the platform. Now the further innovation and the value engineering can be added to build upon it. So I would
Mhm.
strongly support, yes, standardization would help. Standardization would bring in the qualitative aspects into the market scenario. Earlier, we
Mhm.
were not sure which organization would help us to test the certification for charging solutions. Now we
Mhm.
know there is a designated agency, test agency, identified and recognized by specific government activities to certify the product. One.
Mhm.
Second, you will also have the standard protocol, harmonized standard or IEC standard specific to this validation and safety assessment also would be one of the things. So in all, be it the user experience, interoperability, communication protocol, standardization would add the further value addition towards it. That's what I would say.
Sure. So I mean, this is. I mean, you rightly point out because it will help. I mean, if every charger and the vehicle has a different kind of a scenario, and if there is no interportability, so the vehicle owner will find it difficult to charge because they have to find a very specific charger.
Yeah.
And if we have some sort of a standardization, I mean, not fully, but at least government can think of a scenario where they can ask the organization companies, manufacturing companies, to have, let's just say, 30-35% of their products on a standard platform, and rest they can do other kind of innovation and take the market forward.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be a scenario.
Sure.
So, coming back to one very critical question, which is being discussed in Indian market as a media platform, I can assure that that has become a common topic of discussion and on the global market as well. That is, what will be the grid stability in next 5 to 10 years? I mean, if we are having a lot of electric cars on the road, and we know that almost like at least 60% of those vehicles will be charged at the same time,
Yeah.
and those vehicles are very heavy power consuming devices,
Yeah.
that will add up to a lot of power consumption.
Sure.
And what why I'm asking, because I got to know that once charging manufacturer company in India collaborated with a solar company to put up a solar power based charging station.
Yeah.
So, what's your thought on that? Can it be a next level, next phase of charging stations, charging manufacturing companies to collaborate with the renewable energy developers? And in this way, those renewable energy developers will have a new market to target rather than just having a very like residential commercial market, but a new segment to cater and provide and sell the power.
Yeah.
And will it help in the future, what we say, the grid stability?
See, actually, as you rightly pointed out, I mean, this is the key thing. We also speak about sustainability solution, and then we'll achieve many milestones. But the biggest challenge for us is the power availability and in grid stability. If you
Yeah.
look back from our childhood and now, the dependency on the power, I mean, it is scaling up time to time. Our gadgets, our appliances, from the start of the day till the end of the work hours, we will be expecting the power demand, and then you will be consuming as a consumer in order to perform your day-to-day activities. So in addition to it, when we transform or think of automotive industry towards electric mobility, of course the expectation of power demand from the user would scale up.
Hmm.
Probably yes, renewable energy domain, having the green power would be the ideal solution. In this regard, even Delta has green EV solutions. We have already
Okay.
practically implemented in one of the distribution companies in South, where we have both the
Okay.
model, hybrid model as well as microgrid model, where you can generate the power without having the grid with the solar cells, and then you can store it and then utilize when the requirement
Hmm.
comes. Or you have the grid power as well, and then the hybrid model. You will have both solar version as well as hybrid version. You will store
Hmm.
that thing, and then as and when the need comes, you will really utilize that thing. We have the solution. Probably the investment part and the viability, and then the appropriate business flexibility. So these are the challenges which would pitch in order to mitigate and manage in order to have the renewable energy system. Yes, that would be one of the ideal solution to have the green power or the renewable power in order to cater to the power demand. Having said that thing, education, educating the people about that specific activity, and then the cost effective viability. So these are the two things which we really need to bring in as a solution provider and the end user. So then we can have the further activities getting built in order to see the outcomes.
Sure, sure. Because at the end of the day, EV is a very heavy power consuming sector,
Hmm.
and we cannot just rely on the normal power generating things which we have as of now to support. If we want to achieve the EV goals, be it EV 100, EV 30, EV 30 by 2030, whatever, it will
Yeah.
require a lot of power. And if we see, I mean, government has planned the same thing. I mean, government had the same notion in the
Hmm.
mind back in like from a very long time. I remember that in 2022, government delicensed the standalone energy storage solution, and I was not sure why it is being done. And now I can clearly understand because the government can predict that okay, in future there would be scenario, there would be a tariff of day, variable tariff, and a lot of power will be required. And so, I mean, now people can sell the stored power to the grid and they can generate a revenue. This is becoming a business model. Energy is becoming a tradable commodity, and in
Yeah.
future, when the EVs will require power, I mean that segment will pick up while individuals or a collaborative, let's just say society or organization, they will set up their own energy banks and generate power of their own, store it on their own at when the tariff is low, and sell back to the grid when the tariff is high, maybe towards the evening and the night time when the vehicle will connect it to the grid for the charging. I mean that will happen.
Yes, yes. I mean the technology is revolving. I mean even the vehicles are looking at vehicle to grid kind of modes where they can generate and feed forward the power to back to grid. So such kind of technologies are also getting discussed. I agree.
Of course. I spoke to a couple of battery manufacturers. Some of them are actually making batteries which can be taken out from the vehicle and use it as a power source for their home when there is a power issue, and they can connect it with the inverter and use it as a power source. And that thing has already coming up in the market as well. Talking about the power dispensers, I got to know that a few of Chinese companies have introduced a 600 kilowatt EV charger with power dispenser cube,
Yeah.
along with a liquid cooling system. And while I was speaking to Ankit for the same, and that he told me that okay, Delta also have that particular technology and waiting for the market to catch up and to introduce the product in the Indian market.
Yeah.
So what's the scenario?
See, we do have this dispensing and mechanism implemented in the corporate. I mean, 350 kilowatt is what we have.
Okay.
Now you know, made to India, India by India products are the one which are in the focus. And then when you see
Mhm.
this dispensing and mechanism, probably for the higher rating power trucks and then bus segments are the one which will be catering to this kind of product lines. So we are also having the market study and the feasibility study mode. Over a period of time, once we have the dynamics properly captured, then accordingly we should be able to take up the development activity as such. Now, at current in this point of time, alignment with the corporate office in order to understand the nitty-gritties, especially localizing the product and what are those expectations from the market. So we are in that mode. Down the line, we will be having the right model and then the right deliverables specific to this dispensing and mechanism model. Yes, we have that thing in
Hope to
place. Yeah.
hope to see the same on the Indian market as soon as possible, because a lot of electric bus are being driven on the road and they are taking a lot of time in getting charged. I have
Mm.
personally seen that, experienced that. I mean, while traveling to one place, I prefer to take electric bus if it's possible,
Hmm.
so that it can align with my all India EV thing. And yeah, but of course, charging take time, and these high ultra fast charging
Yeah.
thing, they will have a lot of heat coming up from heat releasing problem, which will require liquid cooling as well, and
Mm.
they will require a lot of power. 600 kilowatt charger, I mean, it's like it consuming more than 1 megawatt of power. So
Yeah,
yeah, of course, it can charge a lot of vehicles in one go. That will also help. But of course, would love to see those on the charging stations
yeah,
as soon as possible. It will help the market to grow. Talking about the innovation, I mean, a lot of things are happening in the EV market. I
yeah,
mean, a Hero released its electric vehicle, which is a combination of two vehicle. Like you can have an electric scooter or a three-wheeler logistic thing. Um, there are battery companies who are using the active liquid flow batteries to cool it down while charging at a very high speed.
yeah.
A lot of innovation is happening. Have you came across any such of innovation which you feel like, okay, this is something really good?
No, actually, as you rightly said, in terms of battery swapping activity or multi-dispensing mechanism, you see a lot of innovations happening. I mean, the technology or the connector platform, what we had in the starting of the industry. Now, if you look back, everybody are towards the standardization and changing the mechanism. What can be done in different way in order to have the better user experience has been the focus. So I was also reading a couple of articles in the European countries. They're working on the on-the-go road where you can the vehicle gets charged while having the competition itself. So one of that
Hmm.
innovation was really exciting to see that thing on the go. You will not have any infrastructure thing coming back to picture as an additional thing. You will
Hmm.
have the charging solutions coming into picture. So that was one of the innovation which really catched my attention. See, the other
Hmm.
thing wherever there are the space constraint are in order to manage the thing as an infrastructure, retractable are you can pull the charger from the ground level. It will be underneath the ground with all the safety precautions. And as and when the necessity comes, you will go there towards the charging point and you will take out the charger retractable mode, and then it will come up and you'll finish off the things, and then again it will go under the ground. So that mechanism thought process are also in line. So
Yeah.
it's all bettering the user experience and then getting accustomed to the EV industry charging solution is, I would say.
Great, great.
Yeah.
So, as the business head of Delta Electronics
Hmm.
and even the charging segment, what's your thought on the recent budget? I mean, what are the things which you thought should be there and they miss, and maybe it will come in future? What's your general thoughts?
Yeah, rather than being the product specific or the project specific, what are our thought process? One, you should have the better customer experience. It
Mhm.
could be innovation, it should be communication protocols, or it could be
Mhm.
faster charging time. So that is one, we really need to have the product which betters the customer experience.
Mhm.
Probably vehicle identification, auto charge feature. So those are the value proposition. And then time to market, you should have shorter timeline in order to put the product. I mean, you will develop the product, you will have all the innovation in place. By then the market only will not be there for such kind of product.
Mhm.
So time to market should be one which should have the focus. One is to have the better customer experience and have the right product at the right time. The third would be cost effectiveness. I mean, India market is being very price sensitive. Having
Mhm.
the right pricing and then the right technology would be one of the key points
Mhm.
which would help me to arrive at the roadmap of the specific product line. That's it. Yep.
So, the last question of the session, I mean, which I asked to every expert, because as we discuss this Indian EV market, or not just the Indian, but the entire EV market is not like a regular automotive market,
Hmm.
which is specific to, let's just say, mechanical segment.
Hmm.
It is a market which has the electronics angle, it has electrical angle, it has computer science angle, mechanical angle as well. So, if a student, be it their second year or third year of their engineering studies,
Hmm.
and understanding this and looking at this market, be it from electrical, electronic, mechanical, or CS background, looking at the EV market to venture and start their career, what sort of advice you would like to give them, and what are the things they need to get started from now?
Yeah, I mean, I would really say keep watching the changing trends. There are a lot of
Yeah.
changes which are happening. I mean, EV is such an industry. Software part is there, automotive part is there, electrical components comes into picture. and then
Yes.
enhancing the mechanical aspects, building the body of the vehicle, and then charging product mechanical aspects comes into picture. So all the discipline like engineers will have a role to play over here. So wait and watch with the technological trends, keep updating yourself with the changes what are happening, and then how it is impacting. And then the third would be have the hands-on experience. I mean, nowadays internship would be there, projects would be there. Take up such kind of initiative which would add the value proposition for this specific
Hmm.
industry. I mean, we all know it's a global mission to have the sustainable business. Having the net
Hmm.
zero emission activity is also a mission which would impact the overall our lifestyle itself. So this is one of the core critical industry. Have the innovation in the mind, have the technology
Hmm.
exploring continuously, and then upgrade yourself with the practical terms and practical informations which would help you to get the hold of entire industry. So once you have the technology information and then the background and the kind of hands-ons, and it's yours. I mean, you will be able to play a better role over there. That's what I would give the messaging to the budding engineers.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. It was a very innovative and informative session, and thank you for sharing all those things.
yeah,
Apart from what kind of solutions Delta Electronic is presenting and what innovation are being done, and from your personal journey as well. It's
yeah.
it's really nice to see and understand the market from a point of view an expert like you. So thank you for joining in this session, ma'am.
Thanks, Ankit.